My name is Claire Cisco-King. I'm an associate professor in communication studies, and I'm chair of the Cinema and Media Arts Department here at Vanderbilt. It is my pleasure to welcome you to this exhibition debate tonight, which will be held between students from the University of Mississippi and Vanderbilt University. This event is part of a larger national debate tournament being held here on campus this weekend, which will bring over 100 students from approximately 30 universities from around the country to compete. The Vanderbilt Collegiate Debate Team is coached by M.L. Sandos and John Koch, two of my very wonderful colleagues in communication studies. The Vanderbilt Debate Team has had a spectacular series of years and has traveled literally around the globe, so I'm really happy to have them here on campus tonight for this event. Participation in debate can be life-changing, which is something I can attest to personally because I was a participant in high school speech and debate a few years ago. Like any competitive event, debate helps to foster persistence, determination, resilience, and helps you develop a sense of team bonding, a sense of camaraderie and togetherness. But debate also has a unique capacity for developing skills in communication, in critical thinking, and in research. And I can honestly say that my role as a professor, both as a teacher and as a writer, has been affected positively by the time I spent doing debate in high school. The skills that students develop in debate do not just support their intellectual and collegiate pursuits, nor is it only preparation for professional growth. These skills also underscore the foundations of democratic processes. Debate fosters the ability to think critically, the ability to make prudent judgments, the ability to listen to other perspectives and engage with others, which are, of course, skills vital for coexistence in a society. So here's a brief sense of what you can expect for tonight. Each team will be assigned a position, the affirmative or the negative, and they will take a position on the proposition that they've been given. The affirmative team will present a case, the negative team will respond. It should be clear, though, that the positions that these teams adopt do not necessarily reflect their own positions or even that of their universities, but rather by adopting positions that may or may not be their own, students are able to imagine positions, perspectives outside of their own, engage with different modes of thinking, and therefore develop those skills of deliberation, argumentation, and advocacy that are essential for democratic life. Tonight, these students will debate the proposition, resolved, universities should ban TikTok on university-provided devices and internet networks. This resolution reflects on the fact that a number of universities have already made this decision. And this decision is made largely out of concern for national security, but it also raises significant questions about free speech in the United States and reflects the complexity of life lived in a globally and digitally connected world. So it is my pleasure to welcome you to this event. Please join me in celebrating the feat that these students will pull off for us tonight as they engage in this significant conversation.
Thank you, Professor King. Thank you, University of Mississippi, and their debate coaches, Professor Justice and Professor Slaw, their debaters, Catherine Broughton and Spencer Heitman. Thank you, Vanderbilt University debaters, Sojo Rocco Crenshaw and Ainsley Gill. Thank you to the Chancellor's Office and the Provost's Office for making this event so very special for us. The Vanderbilt coaching staff, John Koch, Gavin Gill, Kaylee Kohlmeyer, and I welcome all of you to this event. We're very happy to see you here tonight. Tonight's debate was designed to illustrate for you academic debate. As Professor King said, academic debate teaches us a variety of skills that are important in non-academic settings as well as academic settings. Among the most important of these is how we can search for answers in productive ways. Civic engagement relies on the clash of ideas. but just as clash is necessary, so is respect for others, especially those who disagree with us. Personal attacks and other fallacies related to arguments are not helpful. In fact, they damage the very process of finding productive solutions and answers in today's society. So we hope that you will find this debate helpful in developing your own skills. For those of you who would like to discuss those skills and this topic further, Ms. Nelson Dillingham has follow-up information for you about an event that we will be using Monday night to follow up this.
Today, we stand proud to propose the following. Resolved, universities should ban the use of TikTok on university-provided devices and internet networks. TikTok poses a unique and imminent threat to the health of universities' cybersecurity systems and, by extension, their operational capability and educational future. In this debate, we believe that we should first and foremost consider the role of the university. Universities have an obligation to their members and must foster a secure environment for learning. To the affirmative, this means enacting policies to ensure the highest quality of education and security for students, faculty, and staff. Contention 1, cybersecurity. Firstly, TikTok is inherently risky. TikTok's data collection methods are distinct from other platforms, going beyond what is necessary for the app to run, resulting in unique risk to users, their devices, and networks. Australian-US cybersecurity firm Internet 2.0 reported that TikTok collects excessive amounts of information, including user contact lists, calendars, geolocation, and even external hard drives. The report concludes, this application can and will run successfully without any of this data. The only reason for this information to be gathered is for data harvesting. A 2019 study at Pace University found evidence of the same unnecessary and high-risk permissions, meaning that the app could upload data from the user for unintended purposes. Secondly, China has access to all of the data mined by TikTok. ByteDance, the parent company of TikTok, is based in China, where national security laws can compel foreign and domestic firms operating within the country to share their data with the government. As such, there are concerns about Chinese government officials using this broad authority to gather sensitive intellectual property, proprietary commercial secrets, and private data. Though ByteDance has denied any connection to the Chinese government, the cybersecurity firm Internet 2.0 had a report where they sent tracked bots to the app and consistently saw data geolocating back to China. Thirdly, universities are attractive targets. Universities are a major target for cyber hacks. Universities collect immense data on students, and a significant amount of unpublished research data is stored on university networks. A principal research scientist at Sophos emphasized that intellectual property and research information are major targets for cybercriminals, who often sell this information to foreign nations. Universities are not only uniquely attractive to hackers, but uniquely vulnerable. As a result, this same report finds that the education sector likely lacks the layered defenses needed to prevent encryption if an adversary does succeed in penetrating the organization. Fourthly, the impact on universities is significant and cannot be understated. Universities allowing TikTok pass those security risks onto their major partners, putting those partnerships at risk. Most significantly, this includes contracts with the U.S. military, Department of Defense, and National Institute of Health. A comprehensive study of these partnerships found that they, 1, allow university researchers access to specialized facilities, 2, offer opportunities for more interactive research partnerships with the potential to grow and create a talent pipeline, and 3, provide valuable job opportunities. These benefits are made possible through the funding these partners provide. For example, Vanderbilt received over $39 million from the DoD in 2014 to fund the creation of a new laboratory for systems integrity and reliability. This is just one of many examples. However, the major reason that the DoD terminates contracts with researchers is because of concerns over security classification. As such, university networks that are vulnerable to exploitation by foreign governments because of TikTok may dissuade partnerships with government agencies who fear their data will become similarly vulnerable. The impact is that universities could lose external funding and no longer be able to support these labs and research programs. Contention number 2, mental health and student well-being. Firstly, TikTok compromises student mental health. Social media can have negative effects on its users' well-being, prioritizing comparison and breeding harmful content for the sake of views. TikTok's unique algorithm amplifies these issues to an extraordinary level. And as TikTok is the #1 social media app used between those ages 16 to 25, it is crucial that universities take action. TikTok's algorithm is uniquely dangerous. According to The Guardian, internal documents leaked in 2021 reveal that TikTok optimizes content for minutes and hours of view time rather than prioritizing metrics like comments or likes, favored by most social media platforms. This means that the TikTok algorithm frequently gives rise to more extreme views to keep people watching. A study from the Center for Countering Digital Hate in 2022 showed that TikTok recommends self-harm and eating disorder content to some users as soon as 2 minutes after joining the app. This study comes amid concerns that TikTok promotes dangerous content if it means people spend more time on the app. The platform has been criticized, for example, for its promotion of the Benadryl challenge, wherein participants took large amounts of antihistamines in an attempt to produce hallucinogenic effects, leading to at least 1 death. The impacts cannot be overstated. In an environment where mental health crises can become particularly prevalent, harmful content can worsen existing mental health conditions and normalize dangerous behaviors. In conclusion, universities have a duty to the people they serve, and banning this harmful platform would fulfill that duty.
Why is a categorical ban on campus Wi-Fi preferable to a more targeted solution focused on those in possession of sensitive information?
So, as seen in the Sophos report from 2022, university networks contain immense amounts of data at every level. That means that students accessing, for example, data from their cell phones on university networks provide a security risk to that unpublished research data. We think that the issue really is with TikTok and its permissions and the kind of data that it collects, and as such, there's nothing that the university can do to fix those kind of data collecting permissions, so we must ban it outright.
And if TikTok is as nebulous as a thief as your characterization dictates, then why are we to believe that this proposal would be solvent for that at all? Why would they not still be able to garner the same information from people using TikTok outside of campus Wi-Fi?
Right, so I think really at the heart of this question is like, where is this university data stored? And we see that it's mostly stored on devices and on networks that the university has put forth, right? That is to say, when I log into my VUMC job, I log on to their private VPN, right? And so that's kind of accessing these networks where the data is. We think, therefore, that you have to ban TikTok on those networks, and that if you were to access TikTok on other networks where that information is not stored, it doesn't have the same harmful effects.
And when these harmful effects go beyond the risk of the individual and multiply into concerns of espionage and national security, why are we to believe that these are legitimate whenever everything we've heard thus far has been speculative?
So I think that there are 2 things on this point. First, I think that we've already seen the warning signs, right? We've seen that the DoD and the federal government and state governments have started to take steps to ban TikTok because they're concerned about the national security risk. So we don't think that it's entirely hypothetical if our national intelligence agencies are really concerned about that. But we would also say that to do a little bit of weighing on this point, the ramifications of a hack and like kind of stealing this unpublished research data on a university, which could lead to having their funding pulled, are significant, and that we must take this step to prevent those from happening, even if the risk might be small.
And to address those individualized concerns more directly, if the TikTok algorithm is as precise as your analysis suggests, why can that not simultaneously be leveraged as a source for good for those with niche needs and something which might counterbalance the concerns you speak of?
So we do think that some people are able to find niche communities on TikTok. However, I think, as I mentioned before, the TikTok algorithm actually prioritizes view time instead of likes or comments. So for example, if you log on to Instagram, what's first likely to pop up is what's most liked. But with TikTok, it's what's most viewed. As we're likely to view things that are extreme, that means that that content is therefore promoted more, right? Because we're willing to watch it, but we're not necessarily willing to like or comment on it. We think that that's what leads to the dissemination of harmful content on TikTok via other platforms, and that's really what outweighs that kind of niche community benefit.
Now that my partner has laid bare the inadequacies in Vanderbilt's case, I will bring you our constructive material. Our first contention is that the benefits of TikTok are real and happening now. TikTok is a force for good on college campuses. We'll isolate two benefits of TikTok, which are also two distinct disadvantages of Vanderbilt's ban proposal. For these reasons, we are proud to stand in firm opposition to today's resolution. The first benefit of TikTok is activism. TikTok empowers students to confront challenging issues on college campuses. Consider the story of the Black Menaces, who are a group of 5 Black students at BYU who started a TikTok account where they post videos of themselves posing questions to their mostly white classmates about race and identity. Questions range from whether students have queer friends on campus to whether institutional racism exists. The answers range from thoughtful to painfully awkward. The unique video blogging format of TikTok is vital to this style of activism, because it allows creators to concisely and impactfully illustrate social justice issues on campus in a way that text-based platforms just can't. Since going viral, they have garnered more than 724,000 followers and 28 million likes, and the Black Menaces are ready to go further. The hope is to give students of color a platform to tell their own stories. The second benefit of TikTok is the democratization of health. TikTok amplifies the ability of college students to encourage healthy lifestyles. In 2022, Washington State University Insider told the story of Joel Burville, a medical student with almost 500,000 followers who uses his platform to combat health misinformation and highlight racial disparities in medicine. TikTok is actually better than other social media platforms in terms of educational access because of the accuracy of its algorithms and how easy the app is to navigate. Hundreds of TikTok communities serve as support networks for people experiencing a disease, condition, or disability. For example, videos about managing polycystic ovarian syndrome, which can cause infertility, pain, and increased risk of cervical cancer, have garnered millions of views, with medical professionals and people who live with PCOS alike sharing how to manage their symptoms and encouraging others to seek medical treatment. Now, why does this matter? In the U.S., the medical industry exhibits institutional bias. Doctors often make unfounded assumptions about their patients based on physical characteristics or demographics. For example, women are more likely than men to be misdiagnosed with conditions like heart diseases and autoimmune disorders. When someone is misdiagnosed, it can cause painful treatment delays, long-term bodily damage, and even death. TikTok is commonly associated with silly dances, but there are important conversations happening here that Vanderbilt's proposal will exclude millions of college students from. Our second contention is that Vanderbilt's harms are exaggerated or false. TikTok is doing concrete good on college campuses. In contrast, the espionage risks associated with TikTok are hypothetical and speculative. James Lewis, the director of Strategic Technology Program at the Center for Strategic and International Studies, argued that none of these charges against TikTok hold up to scrutiny. There is no evidence that TikTok has plans to share user data with the Chinese government. Moreover, TikTok stores data outside of China and says it does not share it with the Chinese government, a statement that is probably credible, as TikTok knows that sharing personal information with China would kill its business. TikTok bans do nothing to prevent buyers in China or around the world from collecting more sensitive information on Americans from unregulated companies, including data brokers, whenever they please. According to Lewis, there are good reasons to be deeply concerned about China and espionage, but TikTok is not one of them. Campus-wide TikTok bans are like using a sledgehammer to swat a fly. Instead, universities should pursue nuanced reforms. Key stakeholders engaged in sensitive research should craft their own tailored data security policies without infringing on the freedoms of the entire campus community. Next, we'll turn to their mental health arguments. We agree that mental health is immensely important. However, there's still no adequate justification for the banning of TikTok. Banning TikTok is a band-aid solution that doesn't address mental health harms of other popular platforms. For example, Facebook's own internal research demonstrates that Instagram is linked to anxiety, depression, and suicidal thoughts, and it can even make body image issues worse for 1 in 3 teenage girls. Furthermore, their portrayal of TikTok is one-sided. In a world where mental health services are often inaccessible and expensive, TikTok has become an invaluable resource that provides a platform for thousands of healthcare professionals, including psychiatrists, therapists, and mental health advocates. Our concluding contention is about the mission of universities. All universities should aim to empower advocates, connect students, and spark enlightening conversations. TikTok is undeniably helping universities to fulfill this mission. Whether it is the Black menaces or medical students around the country, college students are leading by example to show that TikTok is more than just a vehicle for laughs. TikTok provides students a megaphone that is unprecedented in human history. Vanderbilt's proposal freezes millions of students at American universities out of these conversations. The net result would be student bodies that are less connected, less engaged, and more apathetic. Jessica Maddox, who is an assistant professor of digital media technology at the University of Alabama, wrote that when it comes to educating good media citizens in college classrooms, these TikTok bans will do more harm than good. We can't put the genie back in the bottle. TikTok has changed how organizations around the world communicate, educate, and conduct public relations. Banning TikTok will simply put American students at a disadvantage in applying for jobs and undermine their ability to showcase communicative and technical mastery. Don't let TikTok and all the important conversations happening on that platform become a casualty of the US-China data wars.
So first, let's talk about activism. Can you name one social movement that relied on TikTok to achieve their goals and awareness?
Right, so we don't think we have to prove that they have to solely use TikTok, but we've brought you a plethora of examples of how TikTok helped. So the fact that TikTok is the most popular social media platform for 16 to 25-year-olds means that the activist goals of these groups like the Black Menaces are going to reach more people than they would on other platforms. So we think that that in and of itself is justified.
Yes, but just as TikTok allows activists to reach more people, so too does it allow bad information and bad actors to spread prejudiced ideologies. How do you outweigh?
Right, so 2 things there. Number 1, TikTok has pretty good censoring information. They will show you a screen that tells you like what kind of trigger warnings come up on these videos. They're getting a lot better at that. And number 2, TikTok has this unique thing where you can reply with videos and in the comments. So a lot of the time when you see these videos, people have the opportunity to reply to them in ways that like on YouTube you just can't. So it's actually a good way to kind of debunk some of these things and to promote discourse.
Yeah, now let's talk a little bit about your democratization of health contention. More than half of health-related videos on TikTok have been found to be completely false. Is it really a reliable source?
Right. So the points that we brought you were about the democratization of health. We think that it gets a lot more information out there, especially for communities which historically have been unheard and misdiagnosed in the medical sphere. So, for example, we bring you this idea of like PCOS and how this has helped women share their stories and talk about how to manage this condition. So we think that it's a good thing that more information is out there and that misinformation is not unique to TikTok.
Now let's turn to security. As U.S.-China tensions rise, China has become increasingly aggressive, sponsoring a hacking group that used backdoor methods to steal over $20 million in Social Security benefits for Americans. And recently, they've been exposed for using a spy balloon. Shouldn't cybersecurity be of the utmost concern?
So notice all of the examples that Vanderbilt brings you. None of them are from TikTok stealing data and giving it to the Chinese government. All of those claims are speculative. There is no evidence that that has happened. Furthermore, TikTok is disincentivized to do that because they know that if they did sell data, personal data to the Chinese government, it would kill their business and people would leave the platform.
So TikTok's security vulnerabilities and manipulative design are intrinsic to the app. As you push for a university-driven reform solution, how are the universities actually able to create change?
So we think there are a plethora of solutions. We could look at something like a security classification, which is what the United States government uses, where there is a hierarchy of who is able to use things based on who is the closest to sensitive information. We don't think there's any reason why the average college student studying English should be not able to access TikTok. If I was a researcher dealing with highly sensitive information, maybe that policy should be different. However, there is no room for nuance in Vanderbilt's ban proposal.
Throughout their constructive material, Mississippi views TikTok through rose-colored glasses, focusing only on the positive videos while turning a blind eye to the darker side of the platform, its uniquely manipulative algorithm, and the cybersecurity risks it presents. Let's talk about their first argument. Here they claim TikTok is an essential tool for activism. 3 things here. First, activists have been organizing on other platforms like Facebook and Instagram and will continue to do so. For evidence of the effectiveness of this activism, look no further than the example Mississippi cites. The Black Menaces group are also present on Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube, where the group posts many of the same videos and content they share on TikTok. Similarly, look to major social movements like School Strike for the Future, Black Lives Matter, and March for Our Lives. All of these have successfully organized on other social media platforms. Second, the short-form video is no longer unique to TikTok. It's been replicated on other platforms that provide the same opportunities for activism. However, these platforms have 2 main benefits above TikTok. First, they lack the manipulative algorithm that Sojo told you about, and second, they lack the substantial security risk that comes with TikTok's wide array of unnecessary permissions. Third, while TikTok has enabled activists and creators to share their stories for a wide audience, the platform provides the same space to those at the opposite end of the spectrum. Through TikTok, far-right creators, conspiracy theorists, and QAnon have found a way to broadcast prejudiced, harmful ideologies to millions of impressionable teens. Do not let Mississippi present TikTok as a utopian platform for activists and social change. Second, Mississippi claims TikTok increases the democratization of health. But first, the democratization of health can still continue in a world without TikTok on other, safer, more secure platforms. Second, turn their argument against them. People actually have more access to medical misinformation in their world due to the brand sponsorships that TikTok accepts. The Guardian explains that, quote, while the prevalence of the ADHD hashtag brought increased awareness of the condition, experts have warned of medical misinformation, especially as the platform accepts advertising money from a number of for-profit mental health startups. The platform does nothing to filter out misinformation and even pushes misinformation when it's sponsored. This directly addresses their impact of combating institutional bias, as the algorithm is unlikely to provide accurate information. Third, accuracy is another major problem. A study found that, quote, only 54.4% of videos are correct on the platform. The others were straight up wrong or potentially damaging. And a staggering 91% of mental health videos feature people without the proper qualifications. Mississippi's anecdotal claims cannot dismiss the real problem of health misinformation on TikTok and the negative effects it will have. Now, let's turn to their contention on exaggerated harms. Sojo broke down the unique cybersecurity risks of TikTok. In turn, Mississippi cites James Lewis in 2020, dismissing TikTok's risks, but recognized that first, the Chinese governments can legally compel firms to share data per their security codes. And second, as of 2022, there is evidence that TikTok has sent data to China. Cybersecurity firm Internet 2.0's 2022 report sent tracked bots to the app and, quote, consistently saw data geolocating back to China. This is the impact justifying the ban. Whether you believe that social media itself is net good or bad for society, at the end of the day, TikTok is uniquely harmful and dangerous because it poses an undeniable security risk. Overall, we provide a much more nuanced analysis of TikTok cybersecurity risks using the most recent evidence, and it clearly should be preferred in this debate. Finally, Mississippi claims students will be frozen out of global conversations. However, recognize that first, TikTok is not the only platform on which the conversations can occur. We prefer safer, secure platforms. Second, even in their best case scenario, turn the argument against them again. Conversations in person are far more valuable than online discourse for a few reasons. First, tone is much clearer in person, leaving far less room for misunderstanding. And second, it's much easier to otherize through a stream. In-person contact is far more humanizing and productive. At the end of the day, we are the ones viewing TikTok clearly, acting to protect student and university networks, personal and research information, and taking a stand against an algorithm far more exploitative than that found on any other social media platform. Ultimately, TikTok's significant cybersecurity risk and manipulative algorithm far outweigh its non-unique benefits. While we can't put the genie back in the bottle, we can take action to protect everyone from the danger it brings.
The debaters from Vanderbilt continually insist that we engage with what is unique about TikTok, yet they fail to point out its most unique attribute, which is that it's happening right now. The rebuttal hinges upon activism, democratization of health, and the other benefits we claim being equally accessible via Instagram Reels, YouTube Shorts, and other platforms seeking to replicate TikTok's structure. However, they don't acknowledge that equal outcomes require equal audiences and engagement. TikTok's engagement rate is 6 times greater than that of Instagram Reels, so it provides a greater capacity for positive outcomes on magnitude alone. When localizing this debate to college campuses, the scale tips further in our favor, with 9.6 times as many Gen Z users preferring TikTok to other platforms. So when you're asking what TikTok uniquely offers, don't just think about its alleged algorithmic threats that they warn you of. Think about the audience of 1 billion users across 154 countries, of what they can collectively accomplish when given access to a platform, as my partner told you, and of what is lost when access for a considerable portion of that user base is stripped away. Moving on, though, we agree on a critical point, which is that the TikTok algorithm is unique, yet our opposition has only engaged that in its worst case. They warn you that the uniquely adaptive and engaging nature of TikTok's algorithm encourages dangerous behaviors to those predisposed to them, such as the Benadryl challenge and the promotion of negative content surrounding mental health. To be clear, the Benadryl challenge is regrettable, but this debate is frankly the first time I've heard of it. Weigh that against the time that you can recall from years ago when Tide Pods were placed under lock and key in grocery stores nationwide prior to TikTok's advent. These harms are not unique. Similarly, of course it's a tragedy that TikTok promotes negative content surrounding mental health, but let us consider what happens on other platforms as well. My partner tells you that 32% of teenage women using Instagram reported body image issues directly tied to the media that they consumed on the platform. And the source for that was Instagram's internal research that sought to prove the opposite in its research design. So, whenever they tell you that TikTok is uniquely threatening to the safety and well-being of students, don't buy it. If you were to survey college students about what their universities could do to improve their mental and physical healths, you might hear answers about expanding access to resources or lessening the burdensome workloads placed on students, but you would not hear anybody suggest that we ban TikTok, and that is no coincidence. Lastly, they tell you that TikTok poses a unique threat to the security of individual and government data due to its nebulous relationship with the Chinese government. However, no communication from TikTok nor Chinese officials indicates any intention or ability for that information to be shared. As such, it's unlikely that the harmful impacts they warn you of will materialize. Furthermore, if TikTok is as menacing a threat as they claim it to be, a ban which is limited in scope to university Wi-Fi networks is hardly likely to be solvent. Rather, the only thing that is unique to college campuses is the particular form of research and data storage being conducted there. However, they insist on a ban too narrow in scope or to solve the issue and too broad in scope to focus on the actors in possession of said data. So to conclude, either TikTok is unique or it is not. Yet our opponents insist that it is uniquely harmful while offering no unique goods. This is a case of trying to have your cake and eat it too. But perhaps that's on brand because today's debate has been a treat. I'd like to thank the people of Vanderbilt, not only as co-debaters, but as hosts this weekend, and wish good luck to everybody competing throughout. Thank you.
All right, let's give our debate teams another round of applause.